Hello students. Today let's discuss on the determinants of economic development. Economic development is a complex problem. The factors that influence the process of economic development are both economic and non-economic in character. Today the world is divided practically on economic basis into two groups of countries. A small group of 10 nations called the rich, advanced, industrialized, or developed countries. The other group of almost 150 nations referred to as poor, backward, or underdeveloped countries. Most of the less developed countries are now extremely self conscious about their low standards of living as compared with advanced nations. Hence, they are determined to achieve an accelerated rate of economic growth by putting forth their efforts. So, what are the economic factors that determine economic development? There are a number of economic factors. The first one is natural resources. Natural resources or land is one of the important factors that is capable of influencing economic development. In economics, land refers to all free gifts of nature, such as soil and its fertility, water, mineral and forest wealth, climate, and rainfall. Abundance of natural resources can give a greater leverage to countries' economic growth, and a scarcity of important resources can be a check on the rate of economic development. The usefulness of resources depends upon technological progress, demand conditions for products, and new inventions and innovations. In other words, the concept of an economic resource is always relative to a given state of art of technology. Even if a country is poor in resources at present, it can become rich in resources in future as a result of the discovery of presently unknown resources or because new uses have been found for the known resources. So it is always important that you need to have natural resources. There need to be abundance of natural resources. At the same time, there need to be good inventions and innovations with regard to the art of technology in order to harness the natural resources. The second factor that determines economic development is capital. Capital plays a crucial role in the process of economic development. In economics, capital refers to the produced means of production. This stock of capital consists of tools, machinery, buildings, etc., which are known as physical reproducible means of production. So remember, if the stock of capital increases over a period of time, it is called capital formation or capital accumulation. The process of capital accumulation or capital formation in an economy involves three stages. One, there need to be the existence of real savings and their increase. Secondly, there requires existence of banking and financial institutions to mobilize such savings and to divert them into various channels. And the third, the existence of demand for these savings for investment in capital goods. The process of capital formation has to pass through all these stages in order to bear fruit. The sources of capital formation are voluntary savings, forced savings, utilization of disguised unemployed, and external borrowing. Voluntary savings, which refers to excess of income over expenditure, are generally very low in less developed countries. Forced savings will be effected through taxes. Deficit financing lead to rise in the price level and public borrowing. These methods reduce consumption and thus release resources for capital formation. Accumulation of capital is an important element in modern economic growth. Higher rate of capital formation encourages production and maximization of total output. It leads to higher rate of economic growth, improved living standards, and happier and healthier people. Today, economic growth and technological progress have become complement to each other. In poor countries, the rate of technological progress is rather slow and they are spending little amounts on research and development activities. This has affected their rates of economic growth to a considerable extent. The problem in the case of underdeveloped countries relates to the development of appropriate technology suitable to the prevailing social, cultural, economic conditions in these nations. They must also develop the necessary absorbing capacity of imported modern technology from advanced countries so as to bridge the gap between these two groups of nations in the matter of technological progress. And the next one is entrepreneurship. Now, what is entrepreneurship? Organization of production in modern times is full of risks and uncertainties. In addition, technical and managerial aspects of production have to be coordinated efficiently. This task of organizing production increases the productivity of labor and capital and puts technology into the best use. The person who undertakes such difficult task must possess extraordinary skill and ability and readiness to bear responsibility for that all that goes on in his business or enterprise. The sources of supply of entrepreneurship are the opportunities in private and public enterprises. Generally, the entrepreneurs in private sectors are efficient, able, highly committed, and responsible persons capable of bearing risks of promoting and running modern business enterprises. The entrepreneurs in the public sector, on the other hand, are prone to bureaucratic delays, avoidance of risks, less concerned about wastes of production, and unnecessary expenditure. The supply of sufficient entrepreneurship depends upon many factors such as availability of large and a wide variety of investment opportunities, less market imperfections, adequate banking and credit facilities, encouraging monetary, fiscal, and industrial resources, skilled labor, capital goods, technology, and necessary infrastructure like power, water, transport, and communication. And It is very important that it requires stable social and political conditions. This entire range of factors creates highly favorable conditions for the growth of efficient entrepreneurship, which has become indispensable for rapid economic development in modern times. The next factor is technology. Now, what is technology? Technology refers to the application of the knowledge of pure sciences to practice all spheres of production of goods and services. It can be applied to agriculture, manufacturing, mining, means of transport, and communications, and health also, and in short, and all fields of economic activity. Increased use of modern technology raises the productivity of land, labor, and capital, resulting in lower cost of production and maximization of total output. It leads to higher rate of economic growth, improved living standards. And the next factor that influences economic development is the scale of production. The scale of production implies the size of the basic production units or plants or firms. Natural resources, capital entrepreneurship, and technology can contribute significantly to the growth of an economy. It may be pointed out that the phenomenon of economic development of the past 200 years would have been impossible by the mere increase in these factors of production without basic changes in the organization and techniques of production. It has been the characteristic of the development, wherever it has occurred, that total output has grown far more rapidly than can be accounted for by an increase in the factors of production alone. Hence, it is necessary to consider the elements affecting economic growth, those that involve in the way of using the factors of production. Among these changes, the increase in the scale and specialization are very important. Now, the scale of production. What is scale of production? The scale of production refers to the size of the basic production units or plants or firms which make up the economy. The scale of production may be small, medium, or large. The size of the production unit in reality depends upon the nature of the product or service, the demand for it, and the cost of production. All these elements influence particularly the production organized on large scale in big factories or plants. As the size of the production unit changes from small to medium and then to large scale, it would be possible to realize the economies of scale, both internal as well as external. When we say economies of scale, it implies as we produce more and more on a large scale, the firm or the unit starts getting benefits in the form of low cost of production. So the economies of scale means reduction in cost per unit produced and the benefits accruing from it. For instance, production of iron and steel, cement, textiles, watches, motor cars, radio, television sets, etc. must be undertaken on a large scale to get the benefits of scale of operations. Similarly, coal, mining, electricity generation, railways must be operated to their full capacity to realize maximum gain. In this manner, the scale of production has become an important determinant of the rate of economic growth. So these are some of the economic factors that determine economic development. Apart from these economic factors, we have various non-economic factors such as human resource, social factors, political factors, environmental factors, and various administrative factors that determine economic development to a great extent. In the next class, let us look into these non-economic factors which determine economic development. So for now, we have discussed only the economic factors. In the next class, we will discuss the non-economic factors as well. That's all. Thank you.